Today on Skull and Mortar, we're gonna try Myron Mixon's rib recipe. We're gonna follow the instructions to the T and we're gonna find out, is it worth all those trophies or is it overhyped? Let's go. These ribs right here have already been cut down into spare rib shape, into St. Louis style spare ribs, but there is a few things that I wanna trim up here. Like there's a lot of fat right here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take care of that. We're gonna get rid of that. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna knock off some of this extra fat right here. Let me slide that down on the board. We want to expose that meat. That fat isn't really going to render down. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to pop this over here, and this here is silver skin. It's called the membrane. A lot of times I leave the membrane on. A lot of people are against that, but for the sake of this recipe, since Myron Mixon specifically calls for us to remove this, we're going to remove it. Before we do that, we're going to go ahead and trim off this extra meat right here, because that's just going to burn on the smoker. How you remove the membrane is you find a loose area of it, you can wedge a knife under it, but right here we got a loose area. So I'm just gonna kind of work on this a little bit and see if I can't get this corner up. Guys, today's recipe comes directly from Myron Mixon's barbecue Q&A book. I thought this book was super informative and I really enjoyed it. So there's something in here for every barbecue level. As you can see, I have been through this book thoroughly and tagged a lot of things that I really thought were cool in it. We're gonna flip right over to page 69 and we're gonna follow his rib recipe. 69, nice. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get 1 cup of salt. And this is enough marinade for 4. I'm gonna follow the direct recipe even though I'm only doing 1. Just to make sure. 1 cup of salt, 1 liter of ginger ale, 1/2 liter, I'm sorry. 2 cups of orange juice, 1/2 cup of soy sauce, and 1 1-ounce packet of ranch seasoning. Now we're gonna whisk all that together to get it all smooth. All right guys, so I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never used a rib marinade before. I've always injected ribs or just cooked them straight up. So for me, this is kind of new. I'm excited to see how this is gonna turn out. Again, I've never done this before. So we're gonna take our ribs, we're gonna drop them right down in the pan, and then we're gonna take our marinade and we're just gonna pour it over the top. That's a lot. There's a lot of salt right there. Let's go ahead and kind of, apparently we didn't whisk that so well, eh? So we're just gonna kind of smooth that back out. Thin that salt out. We don't want to friggin' salt brine this bad boy. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it kind of stinks. It doesn't smell great, but I guess it doesn't matter as long as it tastes great. I feel like I feel like this is not enough marinade for 4 racks of ribs, but according to the book it is. So I'm interested to see how this works out. Guys, I don't think that this is enough marinade to cover 1 rack of ribs, let alone 4, but that's what the book says. So what I did is I went ahead and doubled up the marinade. So we're gonna go ahead and add a doubling up of the marinade there. And I feel a lot better about this. I feel like this is probably closer to where we're supposed to be. All right, guys, our meat has been marinating for 4 hours. It's time to pull it out. We're gonna go ahead, pat it dry, then we're gonna season it, and we're gonna let it sit for another 30 minutes and get it on our smoker at 275 degrees. Let's get it. Now, Myron Mixon suggests using his rub recipe that's in his book. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead and use this Killer Hogs barbecue rub. I think that the flavor profiles are probably gonna be fairly similar and the same basic job is gonna be done. So that's what I'm gonna use since I already have this sitting in the cabinet. All right guys, since we're waiting for these to sit for 30 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and make our spritz now. The spritz is very important to Myron Mixon's method. So we're gonna go ahead and get 3 cups of apple juice. 2 cups of white wine vinegar. Woo, that was close. And roughly 2 tablespoons of liquid imitation butter. And we're going to overflow the whole thing now. Don't ever say my arm ain't up to snuff, you know what I'm saying? This bad boy gets a workout, if you know what, hey, don't be a pervert. All right, guys, here's everybody's favorite part. It's where we put the ribs on the smoker. Now, I'm gonna come back and, I'm gonna catch my pan, but I'm gonna come back and spritz these ribs every 15 minutes for the next 3 hours. That's when we're gonna hit our next portion of this whole routine. So I'm not gonna show that on camera. I feel like that's gonna be a little redundant, but that's what we're doing. This is what our ribs look like after 3 hours of smoke. You can see we're starting to get some bone pull back here. So these things are got a great color to them. And I think they're ready for the wrap, which it calls for after 3 hours anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap these up, get them back on the smoker for an additional 2 hours. We're gonna leave them wrapped and smoking. But the secret is, to this phase of Myron Mixon's recipe, is to put some apple juice in here. Now, I don't know that it says how much apple juice. Let's take a look at the book. Now let's get these back onto the smoker. I'll check back in with you in 2 hours. Guys, now we're gonna go ahead and get our glaze ready. We're gonna take 1 cup of barbecue sauce of a vinegar base. If you can get a hold of his vinegar sauce, that's probably best, but I can't. So I'm using a vinegar-based barbecue sauce. A 1/2 cup of light corn syrup. And 1.5 cups of apple jelly. Then we're just gonna pulse that down into our glaze. If you can even hear me, I don't even know. Guys, all we gotta do now is glaze our ribs and get them back on that smoker. Oh, these things are tender. Holy crap. They are mega tender. Then we're gonna go back over the top here. That's all she wrote. We're gonna get these bad boys back on the smoker. Guys, that's all she wrote. We are 5 hours into this. We are finally to the last step. We're gonna throw these back on the smoker, shut the heat off, and just let them come down in temperature for about 1 hour, let them rest for 10 minutes, and then they're gonna be ready to eat. Let's get them on, as I'm ready to test these out. These are our ribs. They look stunning. I don't know if the color is coming through or not, but these things are beautiful. They look fantastic. We got a good pullback. I've never done the 3-2-1 ribs before, which is basically what this is. So I'm really eager to see how the marinade and the 3-2-1 works out. All right, guys, again, we are trying Myron Mixon's rib recipe. I got it out of the Barbecue Q&A by Myron Mixon. That'll be linked in my description below. Check that book out if you thought this video was cool. Show a little support. But let's check into these ribs now. You haven't seen Fred in a long time. He's probably looking a lot bigger than he used to be. By the time you're watching this video, he probably already turned 18. That's how close we are to his birthday. But Fred, are you ready to try some ribs? All right, go ahead and grab your rib. I'm gonna grab this one right here. First off, take a look at that. The color's good. It's definitely soft. Let's take a bite and see what happens. Let me flip this over this way. There you go. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's a good rib. So here's what I think. I think it's a good rib. I think it may be a little overdone for my taste. I think maybe a little bit less time. Because see that, like these are just pulling right out down here with no effort whatsoever. So I prefer, and I believe in my experience, that a good bite pull away is what you're looking for. And these right here are definitely just falling right off the bone. So if that's your personal preference, these are gonna be it for you for sure. I think they're good ribs, maybe even great ribs, but they're not perfect ribs for sure. And again, some of that would come down to, I'm sure when Myron's cooking them, he's looking at them, he's checking them, and he sees, hey, it's time for these things to come off a little bit sooner than the time limits. But I did it exactly how the book said. So do I believe these are championship ribs? Absolutely. Do I believe that the 3-2-1 method is perfect? I do not. I do not think it's the best method, and I'm sure that Myron Mixon doesn't adhere to it super strictly when he's making these ribs. Guys, if you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, leave a comment below. All those things are free and they help the channel a lot. They really help us. So please do that down below and let me know down in the comments below. Do you like the 3-2-1 or do you have a different method that you prefer? Let me know. We'll see you soon with a brand new video.